Hello, everyone. It's Anahata. How are you this beautiful Wednesday? So today I want to invite you all to get your geek on. So today we're going to get a little bit heady and a little bit scientific. Hi, Wanda. Hi, Mahar. Hi, Christina. Thanks for joining. We are going to kick it up a notch. Hi, Renata. Nice to see you guys. Thanks for joining me. We are going to go scientific today. We're going to get our geek on, and I'm going to try and make it as super easy as possible for you to get this big picture. I'm going to take off these ridiculous glasses. They're my daughter's. And so settle in. The first thing I want to do is just make sure that you guys are open. Okay, so, you know, transcendent of space and time, let's sanctify instantaneously, rooting our energy down into Gaia, cleansing out any junk that's preventing us from filtering through limiting beliefs, etc., whatever's going on. Let's let that lie for a minute, and let's rest into our inner child. You may want to put your hand on your heart and really just choose to take off your blinders and your what you've been told your whole life, okay? And go inside into your heart and ask yourself about the truth that you're feeling when I speak these words. And we're not going to go too deep, but this has been on my heart for a while because a lot of people say, you know, Anahata codes are so complicated. And they are so not complicated. And luckily, science is backing that up. And for those of you who don't know, in 2014, in fact, April will be the 3-year anniversary of my divine download. What happened was I was in the lowest low of my life. I surrendered to God's plan. And I asked, what do you want me to know? And I was given this download. It was like reading a book without having to read it. And it was super intense because I'm very science-minded. And I was like, but how? You know, let's really examine this. I'm also a non-denominational Christian, so I do have faith in the unseen. But I also balance that. I'm pretty even with my left and right brain. So anyway, I wanted to figure out how what I had been told was true. And through asking again, I aligned with the vibrational reality, which is now the Anahata codes, because I wasn't resisting. I was open to it. Luckily, I have a background which allows me to share this information with everyone with ease without getting frustrated. I was in corporate America for almost 20 years. So I think I was chosen for a combination of reasons to be the vessel, but one of the gifts that I have is the ability to simplify things down into ease of understanding. And so I'm hoping I can get this across to you without it becoming too heady, but I will reference some scientific data that I encourage you to look up later. And so the point of all of this is I want to really just deliver to you in about 5 minutes the totality of how we are one and how through this oneness, and I'm not talking spiritual oneness or the same being, type of being or species or we're all on this planet. I'm talking about literal oneness, cohesiveness of the same. How this oneness is your superpower and how you can use it to remember your wholeness. Now, some of you have heard me say before, healing, the root word of the word healing is a return to the memory of wholeness. And that's all we need to do to restore back to our whole, healed, healthy self. And so it's a pivotal concept in totally balancing to come back into center. Now, luckily, this is our default nature because we are one. We all came from the same point of light. Some people call that God. Some people call that the Big Bang, but that's actually not the beginning. So anyway, this source, I just want you to imagine a source. Okay, this is pure consciousness. This is what started it all. And that consciousness has been expanding ever since in what is called a fractal. So each time it expands, it has the totality of the original pattern. So this is where it gets really cool really fast, because we are fractalized source energy, you, me, the trees, the birds, everything you see, taste, touch, smell, anything you can register in this reality, we are fractalized from that source point. Pretty cool, huh? Nothing you have to earn or deserve or strive for. You were born this way, okay? And so you already have that going on. But here's the cool thing. As we expand out, right, we're co-creating our worlds, our realities. Within us is the whole, okay? So we are literally connected, tethered to the source point. Now, you can look all of this up. As I was asking, how can that be so, and how can we access things that aren't in our physical, proximity? Things were coming to me effortlessly through that asking, through the law of attraction. Many quantum physicists, Albert Einstein has been pivotal in my understanding of how all of this can be true. Deepak Chopra, Nassim Haramein, and many others. But the point is, we now have ability to actually measure these once woo-woo things, right? And so on a scientific level, we are getting to the point where science and spirituality are merging once again, and we have the ability to sort of prove the laws of the universe that were always there. Now, what I think is interesting about that is the 99-1 paradigm. You won't find this out there. This is just my knowing. And that is that it seems to be in our veiled state in this world that we're in, there's a 99 hidden, 99% undetectable with our five senses to 1. So what that means is we actually, and this is, science, you can go look it up, we only can perceive of about 1% of our reality. That is what's going on, the physicality. If you shrink it down into one, small piece, it would be 99%, 99% empty space and 1% actual physicality. So the physicality is very convincing, because doesn't it seem like we live in a physical world? But if you zoom in super close, and so says quantum physics, everything is vastly empty space. Now, it's not empty, it's energy and information. I want you to visualize all that is, minus the 1% that we can see, taste, touch, smell, feel, being our tether to each other. It's empty space that transcends space and time, that is connecting us. Now, we can get into some things that have been proven and repeatable and measurable in quantum physics, such as entanglement, where they have measured 2 photons across great distances. I'm talking like the other side of the world, and exactly at the same time, when you do something to one of them, the other one reacts the same way. So it's been proven, and in fact, Einstein called it spooky action at a distance, because it was like, what is going on? It's entanglement, okay? We are entangled with each other as well. And so from that very first source point expansion into who you are now, you carry the pattern of the universe. Rumi said, one of my favorite poets, just beautiful, he said, stop acting so small. You are the universe in ecstatic motion. I love that. And it's not just a woo-woo thing, it's a scientific thing. I encourage you all to look up black hole, WHOLE, OLE, with Nassim, one of my mentors, one of the people that has influenced me with discovering how all of the information I received is actually scientifically validated and how it works. He has discovered that there is a wormhole of sorts that he can prove beyond what normal science can prove. Usually there's a 1%, 1 to 2% variance. His is like 0.000, you know, it's crazy how exact and precise. He has been able to describe this ever-expanding fabric of the universe. And guys, that fabric is that empty space, which is 99.99% of everything. Holy cow. So we feel like we're in a physical world where we can see, taste, touch, smell, and this is that, and that is all there is, when in fact, we live in primarily empty space. Zooming in on the quantum level, the distance between a nucleus and an electron is football fields. You know, it's empty space, guys. Shrink it down all into one point. I think they said the entire universe could be squished down if it was just molecule to molecule into a cube of sugar. So if you don't believe me that, you know, it's primarily empty space, go check it out. You're going to go, holy cow. And so the point is, this empty space, this fabric, this energy and information that transcends space and time, which carries the pattern of all before it, fractalized out from source, is why we're one. And guys, my point of all of this is it's your superpower. When we can remember our wholeness through that unity, through that source point, nothing is unattainable. It's all within us. Now, the wormholes that are in the center of every single molecule, which again is being proven, that is the point of entanglement. And it just so happens in our human anatomy to be in the heart, okay? In the heart chakra. Awesome. So this is why Anahata codes are called Anahata. Anahata is the heart chakra. And so I was taken on a journey. I did an astral travel. God took me to when he created the earth. It was super intense. This realm, by the way, we're numb. We're numb. When I was taken to this place, everything was so expansive. When I came back into my body, I felt numbed out. I felt like, oh my God, this is the dream. This is the dream, and there is a greater reality. It's hard to explain, but basically when I was taken into the void, it was pure consciousness. It was pure consciousness. That's all I can describe it as. Didn't know where I was, no frame of reference, stripped completely of my sight, sound, touch, taste, right? These illusionary tools that we use here to witness the 1%. The 99%, guys, is so much more expansive than you can ever imagine. It was intense. And so I watched God create the world in 3 points, right? So the first point, it was like a ball of fire, and I was like, oh, okay, now I'm getting my senses. And with each action, I became more in the 3D realm of perception, of sight, taste, touch, smell, right? But the point is, it all works together in a fractalized manner. And what God said to me after he had finished creating the world, he said, to heal the world, go to the source point. And guys, this is why gurus always say, you know, start within, go within. It's true. We've got to go into our source points, that point of unity that transcends space and time, in order to access all things. We need not look externally. Externally is the illusion. Externally is the 0.001% distraction. Okay, so when I was given the Anahata codes in April of 2014, oh my gosh, guys, it's April of 2015. I always say 2014. It was 2015, so it's only been 3 years. 2015, sorry. April of 2014, I was laid off, and thus began my spiral down into surrender which birthed the download in April of 2015. I apologize. So anyway, in April of 2015, God told me, and guys, I'm so sorry if God triggers you. I encourage you to do some inner work. I'm not talking about the God that is, fear-based religion and all of these political, doctrines. I'm talking about source, God, creator. So fill in the blank, whatever works for you. And if none of that works for you, say universe, whatever works for you. Try not to be triggered by that. But I'm going to say God because I'm a Christian. So anyway, when God told me that we are one, he unveiled my knowing into understanding that we can access all things through our connection to all things without having to have the physical with us. Okay, case in point, this water, okay, this is water. Water does so much. I can't even, it's my favorite element. It hydrates, it's cohesive, it bonds, it brings life, it replenishes, it, on and on and on and on and on. I'm going to take a sip, actually. But it is physical, right? We're talking about the physicality of water. But here's the thing. Everything is energy and information. And I was just explaining that. 99.999% of everything is energy and information. The molecules have just happened to arrange themselves in a way that says this is H2O. Now we're going to get into some alchemy, okay? Change the energy and you change the manifestation of the mass. I'm going to say that again. If you change the energy signature, you change the manifestation of the mass. So you could go from top to bottom on my body and be like, you are carbon, you are a little bit of sulfur, and you are a little bit of, whatever elements that I'm made of, right? H2O and all of that. 70% water, in fact. But the point is, everything is, on a quantum level, a series of waves, mainly, and particles. If you change the energy, you change the mass. And guess what, guys? It's only 1.001% mass. So can you transform energy and information in order to activate physical change? Absolutely. And you can do so transcendent of space and time. It's extraordinary when you unveil yourself from the illusional world of what you feel and taste and touch and see, and you go into your source point, and from that wormhole pull through the information you need to remember your wholeness. And so that's what the Anahata codes do. They help you return to the memory of wholeness. So my book is actually coming out soon. I invite you all to go to www.anahatacodes.com and subscribe to my website. That way, when I have updates about my book, you will be the first to know. Also, you can download the Anahata codes and perhaps join an upcoming masterclass where I take a deep dive over 5 weeks into all of this, if this is intriguing to you. Because here's the thing. God told me that numbers are the key, right? Numbers can describe insanely complex information in a short amount of space. This is why computers use it. And in fact, computers only use 1 and 0. I'm talking about the whole 1 through 9 plus 0 realm. And numbers can carry and deliver the energy and information you need. Now we have our source point, as I said, in our heart chakra. And there's a lot of science that goes into this. I love explaining it in my masterclass series. We take 2 hours to remember the anatomy of perfection that God has given each thing, in addition to our energy layers, how they flow, and how it's a self-perpetuating vortex, right? Through that source point, that point of singularity in your anatomy, which is your heart chakra. And so the point is, these codes, these Anahata codes, these number sequences, they represent something. There's thousands of things they represent and growing. that you need in order to remember your wholeness. Okay, so we're talking 27 categories and growing, and you have access to all of them for free at www.anahatacodes.com. We're talking, if you're into essential oils, there are dozens of essential oils which have been channeled into codes to allow you to harness the unique energy signature of the oil in order to activate self-healing. And so this is truly the art of activating assisting frequencies. But not only that, it is the art of activating evolutionary DNA. So this is the point. Not only do you have access to the superpower of anything in the universe, you have access to activating it through your intention, your heart chakra, the energy and information which is delivered through the quantum domain of the code. What happens is then you activate a resonance remembrance. And if this is all going over your head at this point, that's okay. Basically, think of it as a recipe. Some oil sitting on the shelf, and you know you need that oil, and so you take it down and you add it to what you're going to ingest. We're doing that energetically. You're taking down that energetic platform that is that essential oil. You're adding it to your portal in your heart, which is going to circulate it transcendent of space and time in a toroidal energy flow. This is going to reach the mental layer, the physical layer, the spiritual layer, the emotional body, all the layers of who you are in this physicality. You can weave through the wormhole of your heart. Now, again, it's not just essential oils. If you're into crystals, hundreds of crystals channeled, flower essences, totem animal medicine, letters, numbers, directions, trees. I just talked about trees yesterday and gave you that code that was so beautiful in supporting us to choose different, more healthy belief patterns. Meridian assisting frequencies. There's archetype. There's solfeggio frequencies as codes. There's biological processes. There's elements. There's chakras. There's planetary energy. You name it. Whatever is out there in the universe, even if it isn't physical, can be described as a code. And I have channeled that information for you. I have put it all into a book of codes. And it's really fun when I teach you how to pull the code you need, because you don't pull the code comes to you through the law of attraction. This is why I call the Anahata codes the law of attraction of energy medicine. It's an extraordinary journey. I'll never forget, I was helping one gal out years ago when this first started back in 2015, and she was listing, you know, probably 11 or 12 things that were issues, from physical to emotional to mental, all of that. And I thought, whoo, this is going to be, you know, a doozy. How are we ever going to find codes that are going to work? One code, one crystal code. And when we looked up the attributes of this crystal, it was like checking all the boxes of what she needed. And guys, at first I thought I was the only one who could do this. I was like, wow, I go straight to what they need. No, everyone can do it. It's so amazing. It's organized in a matrix. That's how it works. Then I will teach you how to do this. So just go to www.anahatacodes.com, fill out the form. You'll be redirected to a guide and the spreadsheet of codes. The entire modality is free. Why? Because I want the world to transform. We are at the point of extinction or evolution, and we need to snap out of our fear-based paradigms, and we need to make progress as ascended beings. And so again, this is not just what hurts you, what's wrong. This is evolutionary support, and it lies in the asking. And that's also what I teach you. Ask, align, allow. The first part is ask. What do you need? And if you get caught up with what to ask for, just allow your vibration to do it for you. Anyway, it's going to. But you can simply go within, find your row and column, find the actual row within that category, see what it is, what this beautiful code that has risen in response to your asking is. And thereby, through the definition, you have access to the collective of what that is. It's pretty incredible. And many of you, in fact, 7,000 of you are using Anahata codes right now. And there's no limit to what you can do with them. Again, mental pain, physical pain, emotional pain, and then expansion. Don't forget about the expansion part of it. Now, just a note from me, from a personal standpoint, you know, you may say, well, great, Anahata, it worked for you. It did. It worked for me. So I lost 35 pounds. I healed my thyroid, healed my blood pressure, all through pulling codes. That's it, pulling codes. And so I've had people who are in excruciating pain, level 10, and they pull a code, or I pull a code for them, and they install the code, and it is gone. Now, of course, we have these belief structures about how can it be that easy, and we recreate what we, you know, released and balanced and all of that. But the point is, you can't do it too much. You can't do it wrong. You are returning to the memory of wholeness through accessing the things you already had access to, and there is no limit to the amount of support that is out there for you, through you. We've just forgotten because we're in our bodies and we're like, oh, this is me, this is you. No, we can access all things through our connection to all things. So that's how it works. It's transcendent of space and time. It's using the patterns of fractalization all from the source of time, the dawn of creation, and furthermore out into the future, because it's the collective definition. That's the other really cool part of it. If you find you need something, right, and you're going, wow, this definition is so perfect, and then months from now someone does a study about the effects of whatever it is you chose, you have access to that too, because it's the collective essence of that thing. So really exciting. I hope this all makes sense to you. And I also hope that it helps you to demystify the Anahata codes, and to really just encourage you to dive in, to download the codes, read the guide, pull some codes. You know, some people go, oh gosh, Anahata, can you help me with this? And I said, have you asked yet? You know, people will say, is there a code for plantar fasciitis? And I'll say, yes, go get it. Because that's how it works. We're not chasing symptoms. We are getting the precise memory back that you need to balance. We are doing this through the 7 tools of restoration, which is a whole separate class that I offer on my website. Check it out, learn, try, and dive in, because your world will transform. If you pull a code a day, I do 21-day journeys, and people are like, holy cow, my life completely transformed. Yes, it's that huge. And it's your birthright. So join me, share this video, tell people about this wacky girl named Anahata who says that we can access things without having to have them physically here. Guys, we are at the dawn of a new era where we are proving this stuff, okay? This isn't all woo-woo. It's very scientific. It makes so much sense, it's scary. And the deeper you go into the beauty of it all, the defractalization will bring you into this expanded being of infinite knowledge, love, peace, joy. It's an amazing ride, and I wish it for you all. So there we go. I hope that was a good, quick teaching on what Anahata codes are. That is it for today. I love you all so much. I truly do. And namaste. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you soon. All right, guys. Bye-bye. Talk to you soon.